The City Council for the City of Brookshire, Texas will hold a special session for a budget workshop on August 6, 2025 at 7 p.m. in the City Council chambers for the purpose of considering the following. We have a prayer.
Dear Heavenly Father, we'd just like to thank you once again, Lord, for allowing us the opportunity to be here on tonight. Father, we ask that you crown us with knowledge and wisdom. And we ask that that knowledge and wisdom be used on tonight for coming together and using them for the betterment of this city. And Father God, I ask that the knowledge and wisdom that we use on tonight not only be for the betterment of this city, but also be pleasing upon you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
We have roll call, Ms. Corner.
Mayor Richards,
Present. Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Green,
Present.
Councilmember Taylor,
Here.
Councilmember Stamps,
Present.
Councilmember McDade.
Present.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Do we have any, I don't think we have any public comments. Okay. All right, new business. Discussion and review the proposed budget for the 2025-2026 fiscal year. So, this is a, back to basics, simple budget. It is in line with the City of Brookshire comprehensive plan that was done back in 2020, and that plan covers a period of 2020 to 2030. The plan is a roadmap for planning, economic development, quality of life, different things like that for the City of Brookshire. But before we get started, I want to show kind of where we were as it relates to the systems, the financial systems that we had prior to 2022, 2021, which was Encode, and when we transitioned over to our current system, FundView, and some of the challenges that we are experiencing because of that change. And so we have Miss Notley Lyons, our accounting person, that's going to be doing the presentation.
Good evening, everyone.
Evening.
All right, so let's get started. So on the agenda, we're going to be introducing line item expenses, viewing Encode line items, FundView line items, and then I'll show you Encode versus FundView and any takeaways after. So a line item is an expense that represents a particular cost of an item purchased. These line item expenses are usually determined during budgeting time. Each account system requires a series of code that signifies the bank, department, and line item. And as you can see, they're highlighted on two options that we have. Here is an example of Encode's line item just for the admin department. It has 29 line items for the admin department. Seems pretty simple, easy to digest. And so as you see over here in the corner in the yellow, that shows the bank. Right here in this blue box shows the department, and then towards the end shows the line item name, which would be salaries in this example. Next we have FundView. FundView for the one department has 86 line items for the admin department. And so what is happening, or what looked like happened, is there was a blanket system where they just put all kind of line items in every single department instead of tailoring it to each department. And so we're having issues where we have some that are inactive, or we'll have three different, we have apparel and promotions, and then we have uniforms, or we'll have three different utility, one internet, one telephone, one water. And so a lot of these duplicate line items were created, and as you can see, is 1 page, 2 page, It just keeps going. It's like 3 or 4 pages. And it's difficult to read, easy to mess up. It's not as simple as the Encode one. And as you can see here, on the left we have the Encode version, and then on the right we have the FundView version. And like I said, one department, it was 27 line items, and now in FundView we have 86 line items. And a lot of these money in the budget was just placed last time and not really actually used as we will go through this budget this year. Thank you.
So, go back to that particular screen. So when you look at, one thing that kind of creates confusion here is that on the back end, when invoices are coming in, we have to label those particular accounts that particular item needs to come out of, okay? Code that particular account that particular line item dollars need to come out of. And so if you don't do that, you'll end up with what you see on the right here, a lot of money left in accounts that did not get used because they were not coded right. And some of the reasons being is that there were some particular bills and payments that were put on auto pay, where they will automatically pay the bill. And so there were no three-way match type of thing going on. You would not get an invoice, could not code it, didn't know what was really going on with it, right? And then some things will come in on invoice. And so it created what you see here as some of those dollar amounts still have money, but there's no expenses that came out. On the other hand, when you look back at Encode, you see those simple accounts, which it's easy across departments to understand what needs to be coded where. So there was a system change and a business process change that did not occur, which caused confusion. So moving forward, we will need to start coding accounts because we are moving back to Encode, right? And so we are now going to, when you look at your documents you have here, we're going to take all those 86 accounts in this particular general fund, and in the other accounts, other funds, there are different account numbers, many, and we're going to combine them under the Encode basic structure that we had before, and also put the proper business practice in place. Here is the spreadsheet here that shows all of what you see there in white. Those are the account numbers that the blue account numbers are going to move up to, right? All those different accounts will move up to the blue, and the funds will be moved over into those particular accounts and get us back to a more simpler, basic operation like we had before. It's not confusing. Now, on the bank side, things are okay. All of the monies and all the dollars in the correct accounts, and we need to mirror this as we do on the bank side, and also have a bank reconciliation company to go do our banking reconciliation. We should not be doing that in-house. We did have a company called Peacock doing that, but they were non-responsive, and actually we couldn't get anything out of them, so we had to discontinue using them. But so in your documents, you just want to explain kind of where we were and where we're going. This particular sheet here, and you can go ahead and explain the rest of it, Ms. Lyons. Your summary sheet and all of that at the end of this document here.
Okay, so the first sheet is the summary sheet. This shows a snapshot of all the accounts that we have in the current FundView system. Alongside, if you look to your extreme right, you will see the bank balances. I thought it was important to have these bank balances because of the confusion that we were experiencing. So we have the general fund, debt service fund, state forfeiture, and as you can see, none of these items were budgeted in the past, and that's mainly because of the previous administration wanted to go into general fund, And so a lot of these budgeted items were moved to general fund. And so now we're going to have to break them back out, and that's going to be a part of the discussion for that. Hotel motel is another one. Capital city projects, EDC is another one. Court fund, TERS. As you can see, it has some money in the bank, but nothing has been budgeted.
And all of those particular different accounts have their own accounts, but
Yes.
they were being expensed out of the general fund, which is incorrect.
Yes. So they do have their own accounts, their own revenue and expense line items, but they weren't being used correctly. And so, for example, a lot of these accounts like juvenile, court security, technology, these are restricted accounts mandated by the state to be individual accounts so we can track any kind of expenses because the expenses are restricted. So example, for security and court technology, Ms. Sherry can use those funds to maybe up security or improve, the courtroom and things of that nature. So we have to keep them separate. And as you can see, there's funds in there, but there's nothing budgeted. Same thing with PD. They have their state forfeiture accounts, and they have different regulations on that, federally mandated, that has to be separate. Their training, for example, they have balance in New First, and then they have it split in Wells Fargo as well. So that's like another thing, but yet nothing is budgeted. There might be some accounts that we don't even use anymore, for example, like the PD PALs, but it's still in the system. So that's something we might have to think about inactivating. Same thing with K9. And as you keep going down, you'll see water system, another account that for some reason we had it open, but the bank accounts might have been closed, but then the system was still in fund view. Same thing with Hovis, just things that we have to think about. In Wells Fargo, there's still an account. That's why that zero's right there. So it's technically still open. So we might have to consider closing that and also inactivating the system. Then there's the opposite case. Grants has funds in New First, but has no system in fund view. And so everything was getting expensed through the general fund prior to my tenure here. And since I've come, I've decided, okay, we're gonna order at least checks for all these accounts. So in case we do need to pay it out, it's on one bank statement. It's not swept through anything else. And so that's what me and Ms. Glover have been working on. The bank statements are looking better, but in the FundView system, we don't have anything there to kind of reflect that in our financials. Same thing with PD donation. Not sure, this account has $3,000 in it as far in New First, but yet again, it doesn't have anything in FundView. And so these are some of the items we're facing and some of the issues we're facing that we have to discuss and decide what accounts are we gonna close. I can start working on allocating as we keep going down to the revenue. This is the general fund. If you keep going, you see the general fund worksheet. These are the revenue items. Those that are highlighted in blue are not, these are basically new line items that were created since ENCODE. Everything that's in white, I tied back to the previous ENCODE and seen that, okay, there was a need for this. Maybe a couple of these fees, it doesn't have to be late fees and service fees. Maybe it's just garbage fees. Maybe it's just something else. And so I did a preliminary look at trying to allocate all of these line items into maybe just one line like it was before. Because we are a municipality, I don't foresee that there was some drastic change on how we receive funds or how we did fees. So that was my judgment there. And then if you keep going down, you'll see that our total revenue here for the prior year was 12 million. And then in this beautiful pink column, that's the previous budgeted, so 2025. It's at 15 million. I'm gonna be honest, I believe that number is inflated. I don't believe that the city generates that much revenue. We're more on the 12 million revenue side. And so if you look on the extreme right, these are all the proposed numbers that I believe that the budget should be set based on our actual usage, our actual expenses for the past 9 months. And so I projected it out for 12 months for the whole year so we can sit in a safe position. Again, a lot of these items have money just sitting there, but we never used it. For example, sale of city property has $30,000 budgeted, but we never ever expensed it. And yeah, it's just little things like that that
So go back up to your summary sheet, very top. And again, right now, we're just explaining kind of where we were and trying to, because I know this is y'all's probably the first or second time looking at this, so we can kind of understand what we're looking at here. And I want to explain again what Ms. Lyons just said. The first column, the second, 2025, FY25, that is what we're actually spent and used, 2025, the first column. The second column is what was the previous budget. And that budget was basically done as a zero-based budget, meaning that all of the revenue and expenses were supposed to zero out at the end of the year. And I have no idea how you could predict to zero out a expense that you're gonna buy exactly what you budgeted to at the end of the year it comes to zero. That's impossible. So know that that bottom number there is a fake number, is a estimated number, right? So, and then the column after that is the difference between what was actually done and what was the previous proposed budget, okay? And so therefore, that number, the 10,000, because that 17,000 was a guesstimated number, it makes the 10,000 a guesstimated number, okay? So the actual is first column. Now the third column, the way it was done, which is industry standards, you take your usage for the first 9 months, October through July, right? Through June, I'm sorry, through June, and then you multiply by 12, and then you divide it, you multiply by 12,
divide by
right?
divide by 9.
Divide by 9 and multiply by 12, and you add in your inflation to get your proposed FY26 budget, okay, which is there. And so when we did that, we found we got all of our total revenue, okay, which is the 14 million, and then our total expenses, and at the bottom down there, you'll see our total projected income. It's right at $4.7 million. That is a number that we have to work with whatever we want to do in 26. That is our profit, not including what's already in the bank. And we have in the bank right at what, 12
million.
12 million in the bank. And that is our projected profit for 26, $4.7 million, okay? And so, that being said, moving forward, we need to decide what capital projects we want to do to where we can live within that 4.7, actually way below that. And I can tell you right now that the city of Brookshire has no bond debt. We are debt-free with bonds. So we're zero debt-free, so we're in good shape in respect to that. In your packet, there is a sheet here, a document here that I gave you, right there, this one here, that has all of the proposed capital projects, and they are coded in prioritization based on the comprehensive plan. This is our roadmap. And so when you look at these projects, you'll see coding, some of them are desirable, some of them are necessary, and some of them are mandatory. And we have to look at these and decide what we want to do. And I can tell you that at the very end down here, if we decided, hey, we want to do them all, it will be $1.2 million to do them all. That is with a 3% inflation rate added onto the individual each cost. So that's one thing we need to decide now, or either by the time we have our second meeting. We're scheduled to have 3 budget meetings. If we get a lot of things done today, we could probably narrow that down to 2. The second page of this packet, that is all of the one-time purchase things that we purchased. We did not add them into the numbers because we only purchased these items one time. And that was a total of over $500,000 worth of items that were purchased only once. So they're not in the figures. The third sheet of your packet is all of the grant programs, the programs that are closed out, the ones that are currently still open, and the ones that are terminated, the grant programs. And then the last page is, of course, the council pay that I think was approved last time, but because the ordinance wasn't done, it did not go in effect. The council pay increase did not go in effect. So, and I mentioned, this is a simple budget, so once we decide on our capital projects, and also in your your budget book, there's wages that we need to talk about. There is a proposed 3% COLA that we need to talk about, and also is there going to be anything on top of that, performance-based? That's also things that we need to talk about. In addition, we do have our estimated, which is in the numbers, our estimated ad valorem tax for 26, our estimated sales tax, and also our estimated tax for EDC. So at this time, if we could evaluate the project sheet, the first item the capital sheet, the first item on there is labeled as desirable. The Hovers Park soccer fields. This is something that we want to consider kind of redoing the soccer field at Hovers Park to kind of make it more desirable for people to come and play there. I went and looked up some new racks, I guess the goals that they kicked the ball into. I looked up 4 of those, and right now that soccer field, I think, is too long of a run to play a real good soccer game. There's 2 goals in there, and they're all the way on the end. I think we could purchase 4 goals and turn those sideways and fence it and create 2 soccer fields there. And so that was $16,000 to do that. $16,000 plus inflation, $16,400. That's something that's labeled as desirable, which is also in line with the city's comprehensive plan. The next one, Public Works building resheeting. So the Public Works building is the outside skin of that building is in bad condition and needs to be replaced. We looked at reskinning the building in lieu of going and try to build a whole new building. So I think it would be most cost effective if we reskin the outside of it, and then at some point in time come back and redo a little bit of remodeling on the inside to give the employees a better break room, because right now it's not a good place for them eating in their car and not having a good break room.
Still working on that.
Some of these things are in some stage of being worked on,
Okay.
but because we're in the budget process, they will be considered carryovers. Okay, so they are in the stages of being worked on. That particular one here, resheeting the Public Works building, there's no actual work that's being performed right now. We're still in the phase of going through buy board with this project. We have received a quote, and that's going to be added to future agenda items on a meeting for tomorrow. The next one is the amphitheater. Sorry, go back up one. The amphitheater, restrooms and tables. I didn't add anything there because those are EDC projects. And I guess when the EDC budget's done, it will be determined if that will be added or not. Hovis Park turf grooming. So the turf grooming, the turf at Hovis Park is in needs maintenance. It was put in, cost a lot of money, but has not been maintained. And if we do not do something to maintain that turf, we'll end up at some point having to rip it all out. Okay, so I got a quote for that. Go in and bring it back up to standards. That ended up being around $19,000. Plus inflation, $20,284, and I labeled that as necessary. Okay. Hovis Park lighting. Right now, there's conduit that is broken underground that needs some electrical work over there. That's really kind of a safety item that needs to be done. So that's going to be changed to mandatory. Right now, it's desirable, and they're going to have to dig up the conduit. Actually, the wiring is not in conduit. It needs to be in conduit. So there's going to be a long run that they have to dig up. It's going to be around $12,500. The amphitheater sign replacement. It's also an EDC project. That's going to be around. That estimate's a little high, but and the reason it's a little high because the sign we had up there before was a wooden sign. Okay, and to get a sign that's more desirable and looks better, it's going to cost a little bit more money. So that's the EDC project. And
Weatherproof.
and that one's labeled necessary. Hovis Park Clubhouse remodel. So I don't know if any of y'all have been there. Go look at it. It's in really bad shape. Upstairs there, it's been allowed to just kind of decay. We need to bring it back up to standard. It is one of the buildings that belong to the city that needs to be maintained. We just can't leave it. At some point, it's a house that's not lived in right now. It's just going to continue to go down. So we do need to go in and remodel it and bring it back up to standard so the citizens can use it. Use that, rent it out, have things over there, or whatever it may do. And right now, the estimate on that is around $49,900. It is also a project that is going through buy board. It's recommended to go through buy board. The Brookshire Welcome sign that's right there on 90 and 359. That's an EDC project. $10,000 to replace it. Welcome sign. Labeled as desirable. City Hall sprinkler and landscape. There's no dollars in there right now. EDC project. Labeled as necessary.
Yeah, that would be beautification, correct?
Beautification, yes. Public Works, building remodel, as I mentioned earlier. At some point, once the buildings get reskinned on the inside, it needs to be remodeled in there to make it more user-friendly for the employees. Annex building remodel, that is necessary. That is one that we want to go in and make it a usable office space there. I think this was already approved through council. It's going through by board. That one's right at $100,000. Unsafe structures. This is also in line with the city's comprehensive plan to remove any of the unsafe structures, the old houses that have been here a long time that are unsafe. I did an estimate on those. It's about $40,000 to remove those, and we can also put a lien against the property if we need to get money back. Yes, sir.
You're talking about structures that belong to the citizens?
Yes.
I think we need to get the building standards back up and running. Do we still have, because we used to have folders for the building standards, you remember that? And all of those buildings were actually put on the building standards committee, and there's a process to actually get that done.
Okay. All right. I'll check on that. See where we're at. City Hall Brick Project. This is also, this is the commemorative bricks that we did get another quote for a company to actually create new bricks. We also have a company that we quoted to refurbish and clean up our existing bricks. That quote came in around $7,000. But we still would have had to restripe the black on the front, right?
Okay.
And so if we get new bricks, that quote came in at $10,000. And they were all new bricks. So I personally think we should just go with the new bricks, and it will look better that way if we decide to move forward with that. And let's see, where am I at? Road dividers for Lakeside subdivision, the Esplanades. I didn't put a cost to this yet, and I know this is something that we did talk about on council and decided to kind of move forward with it. We wanted to go out and take a look to see what it would take to get them removed. We did find out that the curbing around the Esplanades are actually brick curbing, but dirt on the inside. So it's not going to be too difficult to get them removed. However, when we do remove them, there's going to be dirt in the center that needs to be covered with concrete. So we still need to do some homework on this one before we can actually put a cost to it. And that's labeled as desirable. Drainage project. So we have a number of ditches that need to be dug out. But before I go there, we do still have our mid-mod project that is going to go out for bid really, really soon. That's going to have four streets that are going to get the ditches dug out and culverts replaced. So some of the drainage will be taken care of with this project. However, we can, if you all choose to do so, add to this and do more streets and do more drainage work to help assist with the flooding in some other areas of town. So I added $100,000 in for this project, and I labeled it as mandatory because I think drainage is a big issue here. So that's one that's on the top of the list here. Disaster Recovery Center. The kitchen was torn out of that recovery center. So if we want to get it back operational, we need to put the kitchen back. And so that price is $25,000 to do that, plus inflation. And so I label that one as necessary. Okay, generator for Disaster Recovery Center. That is a standby generator. Of course, none of our facilities except City Hall has standby generators, and I think we need them at all facilities if we're gonna do some things that we need to do to help the citizens in case of a disaster that comes. So that generator for the Disaster Recovery Center is approved by City Council. It's $50,000. It's working its way through by board. Plus inflation, $51,000, and I label it as necessary. The next one is a debris. We're almost done. A debris removal company, and this is like when Beryl came and all the trees were down. and you've seen the trucks going around picking up all the trees. Well, that's what this is. But along with this, you must have a debris monitoring service, because the efforts in this are reimbursable through FEMA. But we have to have a monitoring service to monitor what's being picked up and recorded. So different cities like Katy and other cities already have services like this in place. So that if something happened, we don't have to try to scramble at the last minute. Of course, you all know we took our stuff last time and we placed it at Hopeless Park and burned it, and that's not proper. So we need to make a decision. I do not have a cost on this yet. However, the RFQ is being worked on right now to get a cost for it, for both of those services right there. Grant writer. That RFQ is being worked on for grant writer. It's posted. Okay, the RFQ is already posted for grant writer in the newspaper. We need a grant writing service to help for grants, future grants of all types. It was recommended through our comprehensive plan as well. Bank reconciliation service we talked about here when we did our demo here just a few minutes ago. We should not be doing bank reconciliation in-house. We have to have an outside company to reconcile our bank accounts. And so that is absolutely a mandatory thing, and it actually on the agenda for tomorrow night. We did reach out to 3 companies already, and we have 3 quotes for review tomorrow. Generator for the annex building, same thing, backup generating in case of emergency, $50,000 necessary. Generator for public works building, definitely necessary, another $50,000. Metal roof for public works, metal building for oh yeah, not that one. Tyler Technologies is in code, which it went through council that we will move back to in code, and that's the price. $90,000 is a startup cost, Ms. Lyons, right? And that's just a startup cost, and I think there's what, 40,000 a year, 40,000 a year, okay, for in code. Okay, fuel tanks replacement for public works. The fuel tanks at Public Works are they're old, okay, and the fuel tanks that PD have been replaced. There's 2 diesel tanks, 1 unleaded tank. There's a green diesel tank and a red diesel tank at PD. The 2 diesel tanks will need to be moved to Public Works, and then we will need to purchase a fuel tank for Public Works, because it is a single wall tank. We need a double wall tank. Okay, so that's what, we don't have a price. I did reach out to the person that Ms. Cheyenne gave me to give us a quote on that. Last 2, COVID replacements. We always have this in the budget in case our Public Works Department run across some culverts that are damaged. We do have that machine to clean out the culverts. There was a one-time purchase that we're getting operational to go around the city to blow them out and see which ones are damaged. And so that money is there in case we find damaged culverts to help the drainage. And then, of course, the last one, road repairs. We do have the ARPA project that has already been awarded a vendor. We have a vendor that is going to be on the council agenda tomorrow night for approval. So that project is ready to start pending approval at council for nine roads that will have major patchwork done in the city. And so I've added more road repair work here for about $250,000 or so to help get additional roads done on top of the 9 that's gonna be done already to help with road work in the city. And so, again, if we decide that we want to do all of this, right at $1.280 million, we have right at $4,700,000 that we have to spend. And that does not include the money that we still already have in the bank.
Where on here can I see the balances for the text pool account and the
Text pool,
text star account?
we don't have that with us right now, but we can get it, and I can tell you that text pool probably have about $100,000 in there. And then Techstar has way less than that, way less than that.
Okay.
We do need to start funding those accounts, though.
Yeah.
Those are contingency plan accounts, right?
Yeah.
And also, we have some banking things that we need to talk about as well. Right now, we have New First Bank, we have Cedar accounts there. We have ICS accounts there, which are like money market accounts. So we do need to talk about that as far as the risk that we have with our ICS accounts there. But we'll deal with that later on in the budget, in our next budget session, right? The other thing, so we can kind of keep going, if you go down into your booklet and you get down to the salary sheet, the wages and salaries, you'll see a document here. It has all of the employees that work here and their titles, all of that there. You'll see the vacancies that are open right now. You see in PD the vacancies that are open. I can also tell you that we save money on salaries and wages by combining our community relations person with the social media person. We save money on salaries and wages by combining public works with EDC. And so that is the highlights of where we at right now. This is our first meeting. We're going to have more on our second, if we need to have a second meeting. We'll have a complete budget book for you all with all of the correct documents, the ad valorem and the appraised values and all the required documents that need to be presented to the budget for the citizens. But right now, our main thing is making a decision on capital, and also Public Works is still kind of evaluating some of the equipment there. It may provide us with equipment assessment for our next meeting. And we also have PD, that our evidence room is going to need some work done there to get it up to standards. It's being remodeled and all that, so we're gonna need some work done there, and we may need to spend a little bit of money on our jail as well. Yeah. But for right now, the capital programs. Once we decide what we're doing here, we'll plug these dollar amounts into the capital outlay section of your budget.
You want us to actually make a motion on
We can,
doing them all, or some, or what order?
Yep. do them all or some. Okay,
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 the projects,
right.
the projects.
So we're gonna go down, and if it's something that, for sure, that all of y'all are going to put into the budget, then we need to just say it, and I can mark it off so we can then put it
Okay.
in those lines to enter. Put it in. So
Okay.
I'm gonna start at the,
He wants to go one by one?
well, yeah, you can do that. Go ahead.
No, I was
Just call
going to
them out,
make
Ms.
a,
Corner.
I was going to make a motion to
You
actually,
don't have to, you don't have to make a motion.
motion.
You can,
to do all of them, but just go from the mandatory to, necessary and desirable, just, in order, but I do believe we should do all of them.
now if all of y'all agree on that, then we don't have to go through line by
No,
line.
I agree. I was gonna say the same.
Wow. Okay.
All of them to be done.
I kind of thought that too. I think, that we need to do all of them. Of course, it'll take some time, and we'll make sure that we prioritize what's done first.
I mean, it's good when I think about it too. I'm sure all of this won't get actually done within this budget year as well. So some of these projects will probably be for the
Yeah,
carry over to
yeah.
the next budget year.
At least start something.
We have to maintain our facilities. We have to keep things in good state of repair.
That's
I
right.
mean, and you just have to do that. We have to maintain our roads. We have to maintain our ditches. It's required. And right now, the prices are high, but they're still good. We don't know what the future may hold,
It's true.
and we can afford it right now. So,
Well, let's get it done.
The citizens will be happy.
Any other questions?
Thoughts? Did you agree with your
Yes.
constituents?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was kind of looking at the drainage project,
Mhm.
and I started thinking about Depot Street, and I don't think we
Yes.
ever really talked about Depot Street.
Depot Street, we have a request from a developer, right, that wants to open that street up to the service road. And that's something that we need to talk about. I mean, is that auto or Dito? Is it auto?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
auto, I'm sorry.
yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Wrong street.
Well,
Okay.
well, the
So it's at the corner of
By the
Starlight,
tracks,
where
right?
Mr. King-
Oh, okay.
yeah, it runs
Correct.
parallel with the railroad.
Okay, yeah.
Well, the water, it tends to pool on the west side of Depot, and it sits. And I think it tries to run underneath 359, but it can't. So it just kind of sit there, and it slowly trickles back east. And
Yeah.
then when in a heavy rain, it goes over Depot Street where the apartments is.
Correct, correct.
Well, one thing that's being worked on, and I think we have a meeting next week with flood. Who's that? Harris County, HGAC, Flood Control Forum that we're going to. That's one thing that we're going to bring up. But the most important thing is there was a proposed detention pond at the corner of Stallnick and Stella.
That alone, that
Yeah.
definitely will help.
And so that's something that we really need to advocate and push for. That will be greatly help Brookshire Garden.
Yes.
And also with the Mid-Mod project, we
let me-
went out.
Let me say this. Every time Brookshire Garden flooded out, I sat there on the corner of Stallnick and Stella Road, and I watched the water run over. All of the water runs from the north.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
a retention pond there,
So it should hold the water from going to Brookshire Garden.
I don't know, that's a lot of water. They would probably have to try to build more of a reservoir, like the attics.
That is being
I don't-
done at,
I
what is the
don't know.
location?
It's some homes that's coming up right there. They
Yeah.
are doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bush Candy,
Right.
Patterson,
Candy
coastal
Shores
like
is
Patterson
doing-
Farms.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah,
yeah.
back down from Martin Road, almost
Right.
right there. They are doing.
The other-
Sungura or something.
The other thing is that when we met with Bilal for Mid-Mod, we recommended, and we're pretty sure that it's going to be in the program, to add a culvert on the south side of Stallnick, that right at the corner of Stallnick and Stella, to run the water, a culvert under the road to deflect the water back to the west side of Stella to go into the big ditch. That, and also we are when they dig out Stallnick and they do First Street, also there's a drainage channel on Stella. It's an easement that needs to be cut and cleaned, that's clogged up for the water to run to First and out.
Yeah.
So there's some low-hanging fruit type work that need to be done as it relates to drainage and all of that will greatly improve the problems in Brookshire Garden. Greatly improve. And then that forum that we're going to is going to talk about Bessie's Creek and Brookshire Creek and all of that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, back to Deep Hope. The next time y'all get a chance, the back driveway entrance to the Brookshire
Apartment
Drive,
Mm-hmm.
there's a ditch right there. You can barely see it 'cause it's always overgrown. I don't think we can even do it because it may belong
That
to
that
TxDOT.
that ditch belongs to BKDD. I've spoke to them now. That
No, not the big one in the back.
okay.
I'm talking about right there on 359.
Oh, really?
There's a 24-inch culvert right there. The water doesn't flow, and I think that's what kind of bagged the water up from flowing underneath 359 to get to that ditch that you're talking
I
about.
think that's our ditch. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it runs through the trailer park and then to that big ditch that you're talking about.
Okay.
That water bottleneck's right there.
So those are the types of projects that here, see, for the drainage and the culverts and all of that is the reason why we have that. We can address a lot of that with this particular deal right here, this money.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else? Ms. Taylor?
Good, looks good.
Ms. Taylor, you good? Ms. McDade?
Good.
All right, stamps.
Looks good.
So we agree that we're going to do all of these, starting with priority. And again, all of this is in line with the City of Brookshire's comprehensive plan. And what about the proposed COLA, 3%?
Yes, I agree.
Okay. And so 3% COLA. Said everybody agree?
Agree. Agree.
All right.
I'm stuck on the retention pond. That make me nervous.
Don't dream about it tonight.
Chase water out. Chase water out.
Okay.
I see it all the time. I can't help it.
Well,
Merit or no, just the COLA? Just the COLA, no merits. I have to say that before we move forward.
I think we can do the culvert. I think we can do the culvert and the merits.
So we have to do evaluations,
Yes.
department heads.
I agree. That's what we do, so.
okay. And then what is the we need a number. We're gonna have to have a number then. Yeah, percentage. I would say not to exceed 8%. Not to exceed 8%.
8% sounds good.
Yeah, not to exceed
Exceed
8%, yeah.
Agree.
Combining 8% with 3% COLA
Total,
Total.
total,
not to exceed a total of 8%.
so 5. Your merits can go up to 5%.
Yeah, yeah.
The next,
Before
budget
October 1.
meeting,
Before October 1, yeah.
the 12th, when you turn in your request for your departments. Is it the 12th, correct? Right.
All right. Oh, the other thing, we need to talk about festivals, dollar amounts.
Okay.
I think we need to increase. Everything is
So,
more
so let's
expensive
start
now.
with, you have the list, Miss? I think, let's start with, Ms. Glover, could you take notes on this, please?
First festival was MLK, the beginning of the year, so we're gonna go from the
Okay,
beginning of
is
the
it
year.
beginning?
Christmas.
Start with
Christmas.
Physical year.
Christmas.
Okay, okay, say it'd be
I would
Christmas.
say National Night Out, then Christmas.
There you go.
National Night Out. You remember, how much that was? 2,500. 2,500 plus 3%.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I would say a safe number. I would say at least 3,500 for a national night out, just to
I
be
was gonna say
safe.
5,000.
3,500,
A safe number. It'd be
Okay.
$1,000 more than last year.
3,500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
Mhm.
Okay. Got it, Ms. Glover? Yeah, National Night Out.
That was just the number.
Say
I mean,
4 flat.
5,000.
Because Miss Cheyenne showed me
Mm-hmm.
today, she did it for 24.
Okay,
And
so
the
it's-
we only added a few things, like, they only did like nachos and hot dogs or something.
yeah,
They only did hot
and that's
dogs.
cheaper. Yeah, that's
And,
cheaper.
and so we added nachos
Yeah,
and
yeah.
sausage on the stick.
2,400. So yeah, 35
Yeah,
would be
we
good.
just added those two things.
I say 4.
Those are
Like,
the only two things. we
Just
added.
flat, 4 flat.
Yeah.
Leave it at that.
Just
That's
the-
fine. Well, $4,000.
Yeah.
All right.
yes.
Exactly,
Yes.
that's what I said, yeah.
So in the previous years, when we did the sausage on the stick, the turkey legs, was the city paying for that?
Donated. Yeah.
Gotcha. I was wondering, okay.
Mhm.
Okay, all right.
What's the next one?
Christmas.
Christmas. Now, I can say before we mention Christmas, well, while we're talking about Christmas, our Christmas lights we already have.
So that'll save us a lot of money
We
this
have a
year.
Christmas light, so we don't need to purchase Christmas lights. We may need to pay someone to put them up though.
4,000.
Yeah. We have to pay
Christmas
some.
was usually 20, was it 20,000? But they went over to what, 30, 40?
Because of the Christmas
Yeah.
lights.
It was the lights.
And now we have,
And the tree and
Yeah.
a lot of more stuff.
Well, we get a tree every year. Miss Vicky does that, but that's still not that much. They just, it was
Okay.
just extreme.
One thing that we were thinking about, checked into a little bit, is combining the Christmas in partnership with the toy drive that they do. So that's something we'd like to bring before the council. The big toy drive that they do here in Brookshire,
Mm.
combine it with that, yeah.
Let's,
Or less than, yeah, combine it with that, yeah. So what's the number? Yeah, PD did their own toy drive, but we wanna do one
One
thing
big
for,
toy drive.
everybody,
Uh-huh.
for the whole community, yeah.
Like in the past, the whole community.
So what, you have a number for Christmas? Yeah.
25,000.
20?
okay,
Are
20,000.
good with that?
Lights again. We'll just have to hire that company that changes the bulbs out, because they should have left them up there. They usually leave them up there, and we just changed the color, and they gave us a deal like for $8,000 to change the color out in the past. So I don't know if we look up at the roof, if they're up
No,
there.
they're not up there.
They took them down?
No, we don't leave Christmas lights on our house all year.
No, they would take the bulb
bulbs
out,
out.
you couldn't see.
Oh,
We
okay.
didn't know it was already up there, so they didn't
Okay.
charge us for coming out again and tacking them up. You couldn't see it. No, you
Okay,
couldn't see
well,
it.
maybe we'll get them to do
I
it
don't know
this,
if that's
get
And
them
what
to do it
about the
this year.
main strip? I didn't really see nothing too.
We usually
I
get
catch
a
you.
company
Last year.
that come out and
They
do
did.
the
We did the
Trees,
trees,
they did
the
the
trees.
Down on 90.
Oh, it just wasn't eye-catching to me.
It was just
It was just clear. You just clearly, like,
Oh, I know.
that's all. It wasn't like Santa and the sleigh
I
and stuff.
catch-
It wasn't none of that.
When I drive down, whoo,
I'll catch you,
Nah.
I'll catch
We
your
don't,
call.
we don't got Santa out there in the sleigh. We don't got all that.
Okay,
Got the trees.
Christmas is my favorite holiday. I need to see something.
Get the jelly lights where you can change out, it is done by remote, you can change the colors of the lights.
Yeah, that's what I'm
You don't
talking
have
about.
to do anything, you just
Yeah.
change the remote.
yeah,
They stay up there all the time, but you change the remote.
Yes.
For Halloween, they're
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
That's a good idea.
Yes.
You really can customize it to, like, you can do every other light this color and every third, like, you can make it.
That would be beautiful.
However much how you want it.
So that's gonna be purchasing some lights, right?
You want that too? 'Cause now we changing.
all right.
Using what we
So
got already.
20,000 for Christmas. What's the next one?
MLK.
MLK? Was it, what we were at on
We
MLK,
went
12?
At 12,
12?
15.
15.
15. And not saying that we'll use all this, it's just an estimate. Most of the time, we come way below it, right? What is the next one?
Cinco,
Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo.
15.
And then what's after that?
Juneteenth.
Juneteenth,
Cinco de Mayo?
They said 15,000, Cinco de Mayo.
Juneteenth,
And I would say 15.
15.
As well.
Put all them in 15.
yeah.
4th of July, should it 15 or a little more?
15.
Those
Yeah.
lights
4th
are
of
very
July,
expensive.
Remember?
I mean, not lights, I mean the fireworks were,
Yeah,
20.
they,
20.
yeah,
okay.
they increased the cost.
maybe even 25.
Yeah.
Fireworks gonna take a half of that anyway.
I think that's it.
Okay, is that it? And then I think we want to do something for veterans,
That's fine.
at least
We
part
just
of
got to make a
veterans.
motion to make it,
Yeah, well, we'll
we
we'll
need
put
to
that on
vote,
council,
yeah.
we'll put that on agenda,
Yeah.
okay?
to actually make that a
Right.
holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's all I have,
Vote on it.
and it is 8:02. And that is all I have, unless someone has anything else that we need to add.
I have nothing.
I don't have anything, man.
Mr.
Which is Captain Miller.
Captain Miller, you have anything want to add? Ms. Batista? Ms. Sherry? Nothing? Ms. Lyons? Shalonda? Cheyenne, nothing to add?
I ain't running my.
Okay.
Cheyenne.
You have anything? What's wrong with the parking lot? Oh, the road work, okay. Okay. I'll make a note of that.
We just talked about last budget to do something with this, but we ended up not having enough money for the project, so it was.
Okay.
Remember the estimated cost when you looked at it? For that little parking lot?
The whole thing, we were going to asphalt everything inside the fences. And I think it was like $164.
Okay, we'll look at it.
I only got the one quote, though.
They can't use their forfeiture for that.
Is it heavy trucks
They
going
can't use
back
their
there?
forfeiture for forfeiture for
trucks.
that.
I think it's just not, it's not a good foundation. If you gotta be done, it should last.
Can y'all use their,
Yeah.
can they use their forfeiture?
Hadn't been done right. Yeah.
I don't know if you want to use forfeiture. for
I'm
that.
just asking. I'm just asking.
You
You
already?
probably can, but I don't know if you.
Okay.
Not everything else.
We'll add that to the list. We'll take a look at that. Ms. Lyons?
It's a restricted fund.
I know. That's on there.
Parking lot actually belongs to the city, so.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Did you have anything else? Okay. Ms. Lyons? Anything? Ms. Glover? Ms. Corner? Okay, and I think we've already asked.
Good, man.
All right, so that's it.